What's that? That first one, was it the first one? The first one.
They were interesting.
I couldn't even, yeah. Go ahead.
I mean, it's A or B, and I feel like leaning towards B out of all the answers is better.
Okay. Anyone else have some input?
I got B.
So the thing is, they should have worded it.
I got B.
They should have said is used to monitor the performance of the overall economy and is thought to be the single best measure, because it's not perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they even say that, like, in the PowerPoint and in the book. They're like, well, it's not perfect, but it's the best we got.
And in the answer, it's like, it's the single best. I mean, out of the options, it might be the best, but it's poorly worded.
Yeah, it's either A or B, and I circled B as well. And I was writing one page 195 and 196, and I highlighted it.
Yeah.
But the book says it's thought to be, but it does not say that it's perfect anywhere.
Yeah, I have to go with A simply because of what it says on page 209.
Okay, page 209.
On page 209, it specifically says, "Is GDP a good measure of economic well-being?" And we know that it's used to monitor the performance of the overall economy. But the question is it the single best measure of a society's economic well-being? And on page 209, where is it? I just found it. I just looked at it. Hold on. Okay, on page 209, the first paragraph on there, the first paragraph that starts on 209, it says GDP is not, however, a perfect measure of well-being.
Ooh, you found the word perfect.
Yeah. And so I was just saying some things that contribute to a good life are left out of GOP, or GDP, sorry, one is leisure, suppose, for instance, and it goes on explaining why it's not really that good of a measure of a society's well-being.
Yeah, but I think but if you look at, I mean, if I'm thinking about the wording, you know, it's the single best, meaning that if you had to pick one thing to measure an economic well-being, what else would be better as a single thing to determine it?
I'm going to read the two sentences on page 195 and 196. 195 says it measures the total income of everyone, and then on 196 it says is thought to be the best single measure of a society's economic well-being. GDP is thought to be
that's
the
it
best
then. I just got confused on page 209 where it's like it's not that great of a measure of well-being, and I'm like, well, what?
I think that there it's just mentioning that it's not perfect because, you know, it doesn't take into account like the environment and things like that. But like if you're looking at one number to judge an economy, it's the best that we have.
Yeah, that's a really unfair question. I think I might even email that to the teacher and wait a day before I submit the quiz and see what he says, and I'll let you know if he replies.
All right.
Okay, I will stick with B. That sounds good.
But I'm gonna mention what's quoted on 209 and page 196 when I send that email. All right, go ahead and do number 2 as well.
I think B, but I think I might be wrong.
This one was really, the wording was deceptive as well.
Yeah, like C, it's basically talking about the same thing. Can be computed as either the revenue firms receive from the sales of goods and services, or as revenue. Isn't that the same thing?
Yeah, it seemed like it stated it twice, which was weird.
Yeah, it's like
Originally, I had D, and then I switched it to B.
I thought that they should have written A by putting, instead of the word plus, they should have written the word or.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I thought it was A, because in the reading it said that it could be either of them. Like, but the word plus, I don't know why the word plus is there.
If it's plus, I don't think it's A.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna send that email, this question as well, because it does not make any sense to me. I think it should be A, except that they should have said the word or, and I think, or it should have been C, and they accidentally wrote the same thing twice.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I think that there's some kind of mistake.
I think most reasonable one though it would be C, even though it's stating the same thing twice. It is.
That's what I put.
Yeah, it is computed as either the revenue firms receive from the
I put C as well.
from markets. So,
I notice it repeated itself, but I'm like, it's the
Yeah.
only one that really makes sense to me.
yeah.
All right, I'll mention that too. Repeat itself, only one that made sense. So we'll put that as a you know what? We could probably be emailing our don't we have a TA for the
we
class?
do? I don't know.
I don't know either.
All right, I'll have to figure that out. Okay, so
you guys are my TA.
go ahead with number 3 again, Martin.
I put A.
That's what I have.
Yeah,
Same
same.
here.
Yep.
And then 4 kind of confused me, but I just put A.
Yeah.
I did too.
Okay.
So I put D, but I was confused as well.
I'm not
'Cause I
gonna lie.
know we don't add any. I know it's not B. We know it's not C because you don't subtract government expenditures. We do know that you would subtract imports, but maybe not from your income. That would be from your expenditures, right? I think A would be the best one.
Okay.
All right,
Sounds
well,
good.
we'll keep it as A. Do you guys think A is the best one then?
Yeah.
Overall. Okay. I'll try to do the next 4. Although I really have no idea if they're right. Number 5, I'm not sure if they're just saying compare it as a ratio like 60 to 40 or 60 over 40, which would be 3 halves.
Yeah, I put
That's
B.
what I did.
It's B. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so B is right. Then that's good. That's what I got. And then number 6, I put D as in dog.
Same.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I didn't really get this one.
Okay,
Um,
so
Go
the
to page 201.
yeah, page 201, that's what I wrote too. The gross national product is just taking
So
the one and subtracting, you
I
add
have-
back income earned by citizens abroad, which is $9,
And
and
then
you subtract out
Right.
the income foreigners earned here, which is $5. So you'll see that on page 201.
I
You
have
add
ebook.
the,
I have
$9
ebook, so I
back.
don't think I see pages.
it's in the section, the components of GDP.
oh, it's in the FYI
Yeah,
section.
the blue FYI box.
Yeah.
The first bullet point.
Yeah.
What's the title of it?
Other measures of income.
Here, I'm holding it up just so that if you rewatch this, you can see exactly where it's at. Do you see that? Where the first bullet point is right there? Okay. Hopefully you can go back and.
Yeah,
All
okay.
right, the next one is 7. 7, this was confusing to me as well. I thought it was either C or D, and I ended up thinking that maybe it's D.
I put D.
The D is in dog.
Yeah.
Okay, because I thought the investment, the $10 is investment money, the $13.50 is consumption money, and the $8 is consumption money. So the biggest question is that $10 investment money? Is there a category for the first $10? The farmer sells the pecans to this other place for $10. Are there other people buying it as an investment so they can resell it?
That's a very good question. I put 21.5 because somewhere I saw like intermediate. I counted it as the intermediate price, like not the, I guess, intermediate product, not the final product.
Okay. I mean, I
So
have no
if
idea.
it's-
I have no idea which one it is.
But in my
Yes.
mind, like they're each doing what they do for a living. It's not like a private seller because one of the
Right.
examples is like when you if like I sell my used car just because I'm selling it, I'm like a private seller and it's not new. Whereas a farmer is selling his product to someone else who then uses that to make their product, which is why I put D. I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but that's what my logic was.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the confusing part.
But still, even there, here's the question. I put B, and let me explain why. I said that he bought 5 pounds of pecans for $10. That I considered kind of an intermediate product. He resold 3 pounds for $4.50 a pound. That was in the end where 3 pounds of the beef ended up going. So I did $4.50 times 3 and came out with
Yeah.
$13.50. And then the remaining pecans, which would be 2 pounds, are shelled and canned and sold for a total of $8. So 2 pounds multiplied by 8 is 16, which gave me $29.50 when I added them both together.
So GDP, it's supposed to count the what's it called? The investment, not the investment, the stuff, the inventory, right?
It says gross domestic product is the market value of all final goods and services produced within a country in a given period of time.
So why did you say you think $10 buying pecans buying
I
buying
didn't
5
count.
pounds of pecans as intermediate?
I didn't count the $10 because, like they gave in an example, Apple bought computers or something like that,
Right. Yeah.
and they consider that an investment. It's kind of like me. I saw what the farmer did, that $10 there, as an investment, and I think that the other, you said 3 pounds were sold. That was the final product for it. That was the final location of that hamburger for $4.50 a pound. So multiplied that by 3, and the remaining 2 pounds, were shelled and canned and sold for $8 a piece. So
Okay,
that's
except that
plus
the
6.
4 components of GDP include consumption and investment, and then the other 2 things.
But it doesn't add up if you do it the other way. How'd you get $31.50? I mean, that's a difference of $2.
It's
No.
$10
Plus 4.5 times 3 plus the 8.
plus $13.50, which is 4.5 times 3. That's right, times 8.
But if he bought 3 pounds for $4.50, or he bought a total of 5 pounds, and he sold 3 pounds for $4.50, he has 2 pounds left for $8. So wouldn't you have to multiply 8 by 2?
No.
it says,
He
it's
sold
for
the rest for a total of $8.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. That's where I got hung up.
And my only thing is the farmer selling his product, for him, the fresh pecans are a final product. So it would be weird to me not to consider that part of GDP.
Okay.
Maybe it's counted as an intermediate product because it's basically the same product just going around the market. I'm not sure though. But if it is an intermediate product, that's how probably we should see it.
The only reason I would think it's $21.50 is just because those pecans were resold, and so it's like, you'd be kind of, if you were to count those, then you'd be kind of double counting it. If we counted that in GDP, because that means we would like those all, or whatever it's worth, the pecans, we would have double counted them if we count it whenever he sells the pecans to the other farmer to make a profit.
Let's focus, instead of focusing on the selling, focus on the purchasing. If we're just focusing on the purchasing, which the consumption, the investment, the government purchases, those 4 components of, if you're just focusing on the purchasing, the Smith people are purchasing from the farmer $10. So they have purchased an investment to resell. Then the other people, it says that they sell to people $4.50 per pound times 3. So someone has just purchased to consume 3 pounds, and then finally, someone is purchasing the last shelled and canned amount for $8. If you look at it that way, I think it all is under the categories, but I really don't know. And if you want, I'll send that in an email as well.
Well, what if, say somebody bought the 5 pounds from the farmer for $10, and then that next person sold it for $10 and a penny, and that person, the next one, sold it for $10 and 2 pennies, and it just kept going. That means eventually those 5 pounds of pecans are going to add, like, who knows, tens of thousands of dollars to the GDP if you add it up that way.
That's a good way to look at it.
So that's why I'm just saying it wouldn't be a very good representation of anything at all if that's the way it was kind of calculated. So I'm leaning towards $21.50.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think I'm leaning towards C now as well.
Yeah, that makes
Just
sense.
because we, just like you said, it's kind of the finite, like which consumer, like where does the product land with the consumer? How much did the consumer pay for that product?
All right, I'm going to send that in an email as well, see if he'll answer it. Okay, number 8. I put C as in fact for the reason that the 1 million is inventory and the 7 million is consumption. What'd you guys get?
I got C as well. I'm just looking at why I said C.
On the PowerPoint, there was an example. The example on the PowerPoint, if I can find it. Actually, I can't. Well, maybe I'll find it. No, I don't have it in this room with me. But it had something similar where it said that they purchased some of it and then they resold part of it, but the rest was inventory, but all of it counted towards GDP. That's why I put that.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
it doesn't
so
mean
sorry. Go ahead.
no, I just said it doesn't mean I'm right. So if you guys have different opinions, speak up.
So I think if it's the same logic with what we used on 7, farmer growing and selling 3 million to big place cereal company, you know, that's only an investment. So we produce 8 million worth of cereal, and then we sell 7 million, and so which is revenue, and then unsold number 1. I mean, not number 1. Unsold $1 million. That would be what was it? That would be like a capital or something like that. So which will count as GDP.
Yeah, but the cereal is the final product.
Yeah. So
Like
7
I had-
plus 1, 8.
C. Yeah, 8.
Yeah, I'd go with C. That's what I got.
Okay, who wants to take on the next 4?
I can do next. Are we doing 3 questions or we're doing 4, right?
4, yeah.
If you can.
So number 9, I got B as a bulldog.
Same.
That's what I put.
Same.
And number 10, I got B as BYU Idaho.
I put something different.
I put D.
All right. I put A. What else do we have out there?
I got B.
Any for C? Okay, so why did you put, Chan, why did you put B as in boy?
Because the city of Ann Arbor, Michigan buys a police car. So that's a government expenditure, right? That's not like a.
Yep, I agree on government. Yep. Government purchases.
And they, which the car is manufactured in Germany, so that's an import. So I just say.
Okay, so the only question that I have between A and B is that it said it's included in what category. There's really no import category. The category is considered consumption, investment, government purchases, or net export. And imports is part of the export category. So
Okay, that's what you're talking about.
Import, or do we want to go according to the category? I'm not sure. But that was where I was confused between A and B. That's why I chose A, even though it says import, or even though it's an import.
These are hard questions. Like
no, Melanie, you're right, because net exports can be a negative if your imports are higher than your exports, which would then make it more of an export or an import. So yeah, I would go with A.
Does anyone else want to tell us why they got C or D? Maybe not.
We going with A on that one?
All right. I think we're going with A, but I mean, when I finished this, I thought to myself, boy, my answers are probably 80% right. I did not feel confident that I'm getting an A on this by any stretch. So
same.
Don't listen to anything I say unless you really think that it's right, because it's 80% of it might be right, maybe.
I can.
All right, let's do 11.
I can submit it and then tell you guys if it's wrong.
Except we won't know which ones are wrong.
And number 11, I got A.
11, I got D.
I got
So is import added to GDP? I mean, actually, mine subtracted, right?
So
Import.
when I did the equation, I did
subtract import.
8,000 equals 3,000 plus X plus 1,200 minus 600.
Say that
Say
again.
what?
So because
Repeat what you just said. 8,000 equals.
I did 8,000 equals 3,000 plus X because we're trying to find the
Yep.
investment,
Yep.
and I did plus 1,200, but I did minus 600 because they're listed in this as an import. But if you go to the book, it's supposed to be net exports, and the reason why it's listed as an import is only going to be because the imports were greater than the exports, or vice versa.
Okay, so I think that you would do the 1,200 minus the 600 because here it's not talking about the category. It's just saying, it's not saying the category consumption was this, the category exports was this. It's saying actual consumption was 3,000, actual exports were 1,200, and actual imports were 600. So we actually do, in my opinion, subtract the 600. And then the actual government purchases were 1,200, and so I went with A.
That's what I
Like,
got.
yeah,
That's what I put.
It was easy. I mean, you just plugged in the formula. You know, you had y equals c plus I plus g plus nx, and so it ended up being 8,000 equals 3,000 plus x plus 1,200. Yeah, plus 1,200, right? Plus
minus
600.
600. Minus
Minus 600.
Minus 600.
Yeah.
Oh no, I already did that. I already did the 1,200 minus 600, so I just simplified it and did.
Oh, plus the 600. Got it. Yeah.
And then
Well, so
that
most
equals
of us think of A.
3,200. I think. Are we in any questions that it's not A?
I'm okay with A. That's
Yeah.
what I think it is.
That's what I put.
Yeah.
All right, number 12, Chan.
So this one, I didn't really get how to do it. What does inventory changes mean? So like, does that mean we got more inventories or less inventories?
I guess more, but when it's asking for the imports, I just looked at the very last thing on the list.
put-
And
yeah.
that's the only thing I could find.
Yeah,
I got D.
Yeah, same.
I put D as well.
Same here.
I'll take the next four. These were a little fun to do. I did a lot of calculations for these. All right, so number 13, I got A.
Same.
Okay.
That's what I put, but yeah, I put that, and I felt pretty good about that one.
Yeah.
Why do I have a star on that?
How'd you guys get A?
It's on page
I put
206.
C.
Yeah.
It's on page 206. I wrote it down.
Yeah, it's actually word for word on 206. So,
Yeah.
Chan, did you want to see page 206 really quick so you can look it up later?
Yes, please.
Okay, I'm going to talk while I'm showing you, so it shows you, so it makes it really big. Let's see if it's doing this. It's where the star is, right where the star is where you're going to see the actual word for word answer.
I'm sorry. The GDP deflator. All right, thank you.
All right, go ahead and do the next one.
Okay. For 14, I got 2017 D.
Hold on a second.
Calculated
Let me get the right page.
calculated every single one of them.
Yeah, me
Okay.
too. I got D as well.
I got
Yeah,
D.
me too.
Okay, and then 15, I got C as in 15, Charlie, 15%.
Hold on one second. My phone is blowing up, and I don't know why.
You're okay.
It's like crazy. Wow.
What you get for 15?
I got C as in Charlie. Because
Okay, I'm
from,
throwing my phone out the door. Sorry again, guys. Okay, so C is in Charlie for 15.
yeah. Didn't you
That's
explain
what
that one?
I put as well. Let me see if I had any questions on that one. No, I got that for sure. Okay, yep. And
Anybody
16.
have questions on that?
So when you're calculating output, are you calculating with like GDP deflator or? Like, are you calculating quantity or price or?
So you just take $4, like in 2015, for instance, $4, and then multiply that by 100. So you get 400.
Oh,
And then
okay,
you
that's
take
okay,
the
that's
price of milk, which is $1.50, and then multiply that by 180, and then that turns out to be 670 or something like that.
So you're
And
using
then,
nominal GDP when you're
yes,
calculating output.
yep. And then I went down the list, and from 2016 to 2017, that was the only one that made sense. It's 900 in 2017 divided by 780 in 2016, and it turns out 1.154 and so on. So that's 15.4% growth.
I thought we used real GDP. We didn't use nominal.
Let me look what I did.
Wait a minute. We used
No,
the one at the current price, right? So which one's at the current price?
Nominal.
Current price still nominal.
Oh, no.
Real,
We used the real. We compared it to 2015's price every time.
Yes, sorry. That is correct. I did do that. I did nominal on the
Oh,
next or something like that. So yeah, this is real GDP where the price of milk stays $1.50 and price of cereal stays $4.
Okay, Chan, I'm just doing this just for a second so you can just see the calculations really quick on
Yeah,
this
that's
if
what
you
I
ever
got.
watch it again. Okay, there we go.
Awesome.
So you just
Thanks.
900 divided by 780, and that's 115.4% or 15.4% growth. Okay, number 16, I got B. Real output rose and price level fell.
That's what I put. Anyone else?
I actually plugged it into the GDP deflator equation and worked it all the way through and found out that real GDP was $125, and in the second year it was 135.3, and then of course, anyways, I looking at the deflator as well, it fell. So if anybody was curious, that's how I got the answer to that question. All right, who's next?
I'll take the last 4.
Okay.
So for 17, I got B as in boy.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Same.
I put that, but I didn't even get that exact answer. I got 38 point something, and I
Same
never got
here.
38.20.
Same. I got like 37.5.
Same here. Mine was like 37 point something high, and I was like,
And I was like,
close enough.
Probably.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
it was
got
like rounding error
I got
probably.
37.5.
Okay, as long as we all got, and that's why we justified it. Okay, next one.
All right, for 18, I got D as in dog.
Okay, I did not. So tell us how you got that, and I could be completely wrong.
So what I did, and I could also be wrong, is for the deflator between 75 and 76. Oh, I was comparing 74 and 76. That's my bad. All right, so I was wrong on that one. So the inflation would be 25%. I was comparing the wrong years.
Okay, so is it A or B then?
I said that the output grew.
Okay, and
So
I said
B.
it did. I said it did not grow. So tell me how it grows because I was confused by this.
So
What's the
I was
output?
just going
What
off of the
output did you
nominal
get?
GDP. I was thinking that it was growing because nominal GDP is increasing.
Hey, does someone else want to make a comment before I make a comment?
Well, just because the nominal GDP increases, because nominal goes from year to year. So say in 1975 you produced 300 hot dogs for $3,000. Well, you still could have produced 300 hot dogs in 1976, but the price could have gone up a little, and maybe that's why it did 37.50. The only way you're going to tell is the GDP deflator on the right as to whether or not it grew.
I plugged in the GDP deflator for each of them. Did you guys do that?
No, but just by looking at it, I think I could tell that it didn't grow, because if the GDP deflator doesn't drop, say from like 100 down to 80 or from 120 down below 120, then that means that it's not growing.
Okay, so when I plugged it in, I got 2,500 for 1975 for the real GDP. And for 1976, I also got 2,500, and I don't know if I did the equation wrong.
Well, I was just about to ask, how did you get the real GDP?
Which meant that it stayed the same. It didn't go smaller, but it didn't grow. So the GDP, this is kind of confusing, but try and hear me out. In 1975, the GDP deflator is 120. So if you take the equation of 120, which is the GDP deflator, equals 3,000, which is the dollar amount, the nominal amount, over R for the real amount, times 100. And then you calculate that equation. So 100 equals 120 equals 3,000 over R times 100. If you guys calculate that, you should get 2,500 for R, for real GDP.
Yep.
And then if you do the same for the other one, for 1976, 150 equals 3,750 over R times 100. You should also get 2,500 real GDP. So to compare inflation, how do we do that? Oh yeah, inflation rate is the GDP deflator in year 2.
Minus year 1 over year 1.
Oh, hold on a second. So am I doing something totally wrong? Oh, that's how we calculated the 25%. That's how we calculated the percent.
The inflation.
But
Yeah,
if
the
it grew
difference
or
between
not,
the deflator.
so if it grew or not, are we comparing the real GDP? What are we comparing to know if it grew or not? That's probably the question.
Yeah, that's what I don't know, because what we were just doing with the equation to figure out real GDP, if it is real GDP, then it did not grow. It stayed the same at 2,500.
Mm-hmm.
But if we're using nominal GDP, then it did grow.
Yeah, but I don't think that you use nominal GDP in looking for growth.
Yeah, and
because it's
that's my
not real
question. I'm
growth.
not sure.
Yeah, it's not real growth with nominal GDP. Like I said before, you could produce the same amount of product and just raise the price like 50 cents, but that doesn't mean that your output of anything really grew. You're just charging more for your product.
That's right.
So that would make it A as an apple.
That's
what I think.
what I was leaning towards.
All right. Anyone else have any questions on that before we move on? Does everyone kind of understand what we did there?
Yeah.
We kind of left you out of the equation. Did you want to answer any of them, last two, or?
Yeah, I can go for the last two.
All right, yeah, let's do that since we left you out.
For 19, I got C.
That's what I put.
That's
Anyone
the
else?
same.
Yep.
Okay.
And then for 20, I got D.
I put something different.
I got A.
I got
Okay.
C.
I put C. Okay, if you didn't, I put
Did
C,
anybody get
and I was looking at page 210, but if you didn't get C, I want to hear why.
I was on 210 as well.
Okay. So who got A? Tell me about A.
My reasoning for A was just there. Hold on, let me find where it says it.
I remember them saying that something about that, but
So the second paragraph, it says measurements of the unofficial economy, not including activity, differ substantially. So I could have just been reading that wrong, and it's saying that it is included.
I'll read. I'm going to read the part I highlighted on page 210.
Yeah.
It says the last paragraph. It says, or shadow economy involves otherwise legal transactions that go unreported or unrecorded.
That's word for word.
Yeah.
That's pretty close.
And on top of that, on page 211, the very first paragraph says criminal activities make up a large portion of what could be termed the total underground economy. So that excludes A from being the answer.
Okay. So, all in all, I think most of these answers that we have circled look pretty good. The biggest questions I have are, I think, question 2, we have C maybe. Question 4, we have A maybe. Question 1, we have B maybe. Are those our biggest maybes?
Those are the ones I circled that I wanted
Funny
to wait
because
for.
usually the first questions are supposed to be like the easiest.
Oh,
Yeah.
and question 7. 7 for me is a maybe too, because I don't know if I agree with that. So number 1 is a maybe. Number 2 is a maybe. Number 3 is a maybe. Number 7 is a maybe. And I think everything else, do you guys think is we're pretty confident that they're right?
Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
say so.
All right. So on your own, if you want to,
Somebody
look
turn
at
it
those 4 problems. I'm going to probably send an email about those 4 problems.
Somebody take one for the team and see if we get 100.
I'll do that, but I'm going to send an email first to the.
We'll
Last time
wait
he
to
kind
hear
of
back.
answered. He kind of answered
Was
like
it-
what the answer should be, kind of in the email.
Yeah.
Was it C for number 20?
Yes. Yeah, C for number 20.
Yeah, if someone submits it and gets 100%, let us know, and then we don't have to wait. But otherwise, I'm gonna wait just to see what I hear back, and I'll let you know what I get.
All right.
I'll probably
Probably
submit it
wait.
today.
Okay.
You're gonna submit it today, Martin?
Probably.
You're
Yeah.
the man.
If you get 100%,
You're
let
brave.
us know. If not,
Okay.
it is what it is. All right, guys. Thanks so much. We'll
Yep.
talk to you next week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Question though.
Yeah. Go ahead.
When he posted about the exam on the page, he said it's chapters like 3, and then he doesn't include 9. He includes 10 and 11. That's just a typo, right?
I hope so.
Yeah, 'cause
I'll
we haven't
pull it
done
up.
11.
Maybe include that in the email.
Okay. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
exam,
'Cause
does exam
It's
include chapter 9?
it should be 2,
Last
3, 4,
week's-
9, 10.
Yeah, last week's post that he did, he said it's chapters 3, 4, 10, and 11, but we have only done 3, 4, 9, and 10.
Oh, we want to make sure it doesn't include 11, maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'll write that in. Does it?
Yeah.
All right, good question.
Oh, it looks like on the one he posted this morning, he actually fixed it, so never mind.
Okay, well,
Cool.
leave that.
Okay.
Okay, thank you guys. We'll talk
Okay.
to you in a week, if not via email.
See ya.
All right.